Honor to be selected by Secretary Kerry as the first representative for the Arctic. I started my career in the Coast Guard nearly 40 years ago, being assigned to ADAC, Alaska. And at the time, we could never foresee that perhaps that would have a connection to something we do later in life. But more importantly, I think over the last 4 years, I've had a chance to visit Alaska at the invitation of Senator Murkowski. And we've had a chance to learn the culture, the heritage. We've seen the challenges that people are facing up there. We've seen the impact of the change in climate. And it's given me an idea for some of the things that are going to have to be done in the future to make sure we protect the environment while making it adaptable for increased human usage. So having the opportunity and the honor to be able to participate in some of those events and perhaps develop some policies for the future and get consensus with the between the 8 Arctic nations is really a deep honor, and I'm very excited about it. My knowledge of Alaska, first of all, I don't have the greatest knowledge of Alaska because there are people that have lived there for their entire lives, and I'm deeply grateful that Fran Ulmer has consented to be a senior advisor to Secretary Kerry, because she's lived there and she understands the state way better than I do. But having said that, I made it a high priority during my time as Commandant of the Coast Guard to get up to Alaska every summer and to visit as much as I could, primarily Coast Guard people. But I also had a chance to meet the people who live in Barrow and in Kotzebue and in Nome and other places, and learn about the challenges that they're facing. I have a great appreciation for the magnitude of the state, having sailed its waters from the North Slope all the way down to Southeast when I was a young officer in the Coast Guard, and now having a chance to fly around the entire state as well. So while I'm not a native, I have a great love for Alaska and the Arctic, and hopefully that love and that passion will translate itself into actions in this new assignment. My first priority is to get up to Alaska and discuss some of the issues that we're contemplating for our leadership in the Arctic Council, which will start next year. This can't be something that's done unilaterally. Our objectives have to be discussed across the interagency here in Washington, and then we really need to listen to the people of Alaska and see how some of the things might impact them and what input and improvements and suggestions they might have. Then we take it to the Arctic nations and we start trying to gain their consensus on those things that we want to achieve over the next 2 years. And we just can't focus on the next 2 years. What we really need to do is focus on issues that are going to carry into the future. So it's going to be very important for us to talk to Finland as well, because they'll take over the leadership of the Arctic Council 2 years from now, after we finish. So it's I've learned a long time ago, we can't do things on our own or unilaterally. We've got to gain consensus from all the people that we work with, whether in government or citizens or internationally, and that is what my highest priority will be for right now. Okay. Well, Senator Murkowski and I have discussed this many times on how do you get the general American public to understand that we're an Arctic nation. I always lamented the fact that as a sailor and as a Coast Guardsman, most people don't even consider ourselves a maritime nation, and first and foremost, we are maritime. We depend upon the maritime for everything that we do. And if you could get them to understand that, then I think the next step is understanding that we are also an Arctic nation. But the Arctic is a maritime venue as well, so they sort of link together. So it's a constant education process. We've become very comfortable because we go to our stores and there are things stocked on the shelves that are very easy to get to. People don't often think, how do they get to those shelves? And 90% of our trade comes through the oceans, and in Alaska, everything comes through the oceans to a lot of the towns and villages up there.
I want to reinforce the opportunity that we have here with Admiral Papp as the newly named Special Representative to the Arctic. He comes with not only incredible credentials, having begun his Coast Guard career in Alaska out on ADAC, but truly moving up the chain to be Commandant of the United States Coast Guard. an opportunity to not only understand and appreciate the role that we have as a maritime nation, but to really focus on what our prospects and our possibilities are in an evolving Arctic. And I think it was important that the Secretary name an individual that not only has that appreciation of how Alaska fits, but truly how America fits into the more global picture of the Arctic. Admiral Papp clearly has that credibility, that respect, not only within this country, but around the globe. And I think he will carry that with him in his new mission as the U.S. Special Representative to the Arctic. So I'm looking forward to working with him, with Fran Ulmer, as she, again, parlays all of her strong Arctic knowledge and Alaska-specific knowledge, working with Admiral Papp. I think we've got a good team here, and I'm looking forward to it.